Right, here we are at the campsite. Can't remember what it was called, the campsite. The campsite is Quillian Town. Quillian Town. Must have been an old settlement at one point in time. And they've turned the old town site into camping and caravanning. Bruce and I are probably the only two campers here tonight, but looks fit. There's 2 caravans and 2 campers, and we'll set up tents somewhere and have a think what we're going to do. The bike ran pretty well, filled up in York. Took about, didn't take much actually, only took about 8 litres or something. So it's getting pretty good mileage. I'll work it out when I get back. And we'll get set up for the night and we'll see how we go. So it took me about 24 minutes to set up the campsite and tent. I've saved you the pain of watching the full 24 minutes by speeding this up about 500%, 5 times. So the first job obviously is clean the campsite. Quite a few sort of sticks and sharp objects lying around, and then get the ground sheet down. And this is the Red Ver's Hawk 2 tent. I've never actually put this one up before. So I have had it for a while, but just never used it. So put the ground sheet on the ground, tent went on top, and then getting the poles out. What I noticed is the elastic in the poles seem a bit slack, so maybe that's perished a bit. I might have to replace the elastic in the poles. The poles are colour coded, so that's pretty good. The long grey one goes up the middle, and the 2 red ones go either side. As I said, the elastic that holds the poles together seems to have loosened off, so I had a few problems with the poles pulling out as they were getting pushed through the tent. This is me also working out that you can only put the poles in from one side rather than both sides. So it's actually quite a clever design. The poles go in one way, so one end's fixed and the other end's got the tightening strap on it. It's actually a very clever design. So here me trying to still put the poles in, up to a red pole now. Wrong side probably, so I'll have to go around the other side soon when I work it out. Here we go. Oh, worked that out. Like all males, I didn't follow any instructions. I just chucked it out and started fumbling my way through it. It's pretty intuitive. There's only 3 poles, the big centre one and the 2 side ones. I probably shouldn't have put the big centre pole in first in terms of connected it. I probably should have left everything flat and it would have been easier to push the poles in. So I did a lot of stuffing about with the poles until I worked out how the system works. This, as I said, this took about 24 minutes end to end to get this done, but the next time would be much quicker. There you are. The tent's basically up at that point, so it's an interesting self-standing tent. It's got a guy rope all the way around the bottom as well, and the guy rope is really good because it keeps the poles all in place. So you could theoretically have a freestanding tent. And the guy sheet is fantastic. It just clips in with some black clips. So there's some black, I don't know what they're called, the black clips with the 2 arms on it. They just clip either, I think there's about 6 of them, all the way around, and they clip to the bottom of the poles as well. And then there's I quite like having pegs in and keeping the tent tight because the wind can pick up at night sometime in Western Australia. Mostly it just dies and it goes quiet at night, but I have seen the wind pick up and then you're flapping about as a tent. So at this point I put the tent pegs in to pull it out and keep it from flapping about. I've got a great tent stake hammer that I picked up when I was hiking, really lightweight, and it just helps me get the pegs in. This ground is pretty tough. It's a sort of gravel. So getting the tent pegs in. Here's Brucey coming to ask me what I'm doing. His tent was up. He had a 4-pole classic dome, so he got his up. He's done his a few times, so he got his up real quickly. And then he just watched me finishing off. So basically that's the tent finished there. That's me wrapping the bag up. And now starting to move all the stuff in. The mat in first. I've still got my gear on here. I've still got my motorcycle gear on here. And I've got a fly net on because the flies were particularly bad. You can see the grass is moving a bit now, so the wind is picking up. But it did die later that night. And so basically that's the tent finished. And now I'll start moving things into it. I've got the mat into it. Unpacking all the other stuff, like the pillow and the sheet. I wasn't actually going to put my sleeping bag in because it was so warm this day, but the temperature can plummet at night, so I thought I might get it out. I actually spent some time pondering whether I should get the sleeping bag out or not. Luckily I decided to get it out because it was actually quite cold that night. As I said, the days get very hot, but because of the clear skies, the temperature plummeted at night, and so I was really glad I got my sleeping bag out. I was just going to sleep in a sheet, which would have been a bit of a mistake. So it's always worth getting the sleeping bag out, even if you just lie on top of it. So as I said, that's me finished now. Tent's up. I'm now unpacking the bike and getting ready to cook some meals. Leave it there, it's a bit handy. Ooh, that's good. There's all my gear in the corner here, drying out. Up here, it's the most important thing for the night. What is it? Camp's all set up, sun's setting, absolutely beautiful evening apart from the flies. And of course, delightfully tacky yet refined.
What's that doing?
Video?
On or off?
On.
Oh.
Oh, you have to put it on. Right. Cook last. Get the rice on. Jesus, no mucking about with that thing, Brucey.
It's a monster. They had one of those. It was like $12 and this one was $14. I said, I'll have the big one, please. I'm not carrying it in my backpack, so...
Yeah. This might run out, actually.